Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today, rather belatedly, we are doing a GoPro Hero 9 Black Edition review and unboxing. So we have the Black Edition, we also have the Media mod and Essential 2 extra batteries. So we will be unboxing those items shortly. So before we do that, I am not sponsored by GoPro. They have not sent me this unit for review. All opinions are my own. So let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, I know the GoPro Hero 10 has been released, and it's been out for a little while now. Yeah, we have a few GoPro Hero 9s, and we bought this particular set with the Media mod and also the extra batteries. We bought that to use for overhead unboxing shots, and we just haven't got round to opening it. So it's been sat on the shelf for about 3 months, and yeah, we're going to have a look at that now. So the GoPro Hero 9 costs approximately £350 in the UK. The GoPro Hero 8 is still available at approximately £250. The GoPro Hero 7 is difficult now to find and get hold of. They were priced at around £200 when they were available. And the GoPro Hero 10 is £450 for the camera itself. So you're looking at about £100 addition or uplift to purchase the 10 over the 9. The Media mod costs approximately £80, and the batteries are roughly £20 to £25 each for genuine GoPro batteries. So GoPro Hero 9, nice packaging. At the bottom there's a little tab here, so we shall undo this. They never come off as you expect, but there we go. There we are. So it comes in a nice case, and we'll open up the case and see what we get inside. The usual paperwork that I really don't think anybody reads, so put that back in there. You can see that there. We get the camera itself and various bits and pieces. I'll remove those from the packaging, and then we can have a look at what we get. So the camera really is quite small. I don't know why people have been complaining about the size increase. Always nice. And then the lens cap. There we go. And the back cover. Lovely. And there we have it. The camera unit itself. So we have the feet on the bottom of the camera case, which will fit into the standard sort of GoPro accessories and hold in place. So that's a nice addition to the actual case of the camera. The lens cap itself is removable. You can twist and take this off, so if you do scratch it you can put another one on, which is nice. So that is the Hero 9 camera body itself. You get a few basic accessories, as I've shown you with that, and the screw to hold that in place, and you also get a 3M helmet mount. It's slightly curved, so that's to go on a helmet, and then I would imagine that by lifting this you can push that into this clip, and then once you've pushed that in, this rubber bung will push down, and then that's securely held. So we'll have a look at one of these battery packs to see if you get anything in addition. The Sony ZV-1 has a great additional battery which comes with a little USB slide-in charging unit, but I suspect that the GoPro doesn't. So let's have a look and see what you get with your battery. Paperwork that nobody reads, and yeah, that's it. That's all you get. No means to charge. Put it in the camera and away you go. So the little bag or box that you get with the GoPro Hero 9 is actually quite useful. I may actually use it to store the camera and my now collection of batteries, my gaggle of batteries here. So let's move on and have a look and see what you get inside the Media Mod. So water resistant, directional mic, 3.5mm mic port, HDMI out, and a USB-C port is what it says on the front of the box. And let's see how we can get in here. There we go. Let's pull that out. Again, paperwork, user guide. I might actually need that one. And then we have the Media Mod, and that is all you get. There is nothing else in there at all. So we have another one of these mounts and another screw. So we'll put that in our box. And the Media Mod itself, a little case. So you have a power button on the side, which will push through to the camera, power button on the top, or record button on the top, has a hot shoe on the top for a accessory. Microphone would work there. We have the ports on the side here, hopefully you can see that. Let me just open all three and hopefully that will focus. You can see what we have there. 3.5mm USB-C and what looks like a micro HDMI. The microphone itself here, and we have a dead cat which can click on the top. We also have a hot shoe on the side, so top and side for hot shoe. Yeah, so we'll have a play with this and see how it mounts to the actual camera itself a little bit later. So that was a little bit challenging to get that off, but this is sprung loaded. You have to really quite heavily pull it down, and then the door opens. One negative I would say is that the GoPro itself slides in here and the door shuts, so it's held within the unit, but you have to remove the side door of the GoPro. It has to be completely removed from the device in order to connect it to the socket here, which connects to the socket here. So we'll need to read up on how to remove this door without breaking it, and then the unit will fit into the Media Mod cradle. So we're going to have a look at some of the key features of the GoPro Hero 9. It's waterproof to 33 feet or 10 meters, 30% more battery than the GoPro Hero 8, so lasts 30% longer. Battery life is still a bit of an issue. 23.6 megapixel sensor, can take 20 megapixel photos if you want to use it for photography, but I can't imagine why you would want to do that. 4K and 5K footage. The 5K footage, 30 frames a second, bitrate 60 or 100. Resolution on that is 5120 by 2880, 16:9 aspect ratio. The 5K footage is excellent, and so is the 4K. 4K at 60 frames a second, bitrate there 60 or 100, resolution 3840 by 2160 at 16:9. The GoPro Hero 10 has particularly bad 4K footage. It's downsampled and it's over sharp, and it doesn't look great. So if you're wanting a camera for 4K, with very occasional 5K, then definitely look at the GoPro Hero 9, because the 4K footage out the 10 is garbage. However, the 5K footage out the 10 is fabulous, so just bear that in mind. If you want slow motion and the capabilities of the slow motion on the GoPro Hero 9, at 1080p you're looking at 240 frames a second, 1440p 120 frames a second, and it can also do 120 frames at 2.7K. 2.7K 120 frame is decent, and 240 frames is okay at best. So field of view for the GoPro Hero 9, 16:9 aspect ratio measured diagonally. Super view mode is about 148 degrees field of view. With hyper smooth boost enabled, that gets reduced to about 121 degrees. Wide mode 133 degrees with hypersmooth off, and with hypersmooth set to boost, that decreases to about 105 degrees. Linear mode 100 degrees with an 83 degree with hypersmooth boost enabled. Linear plus horizon leveling mode, if that's turned on, 95 degrees and 83 degrees with hyper smooth boost. NTSC and PAL modes, you set that in the GoPro in preferences, anti-flicker, and then 50 Hz for PAL and 60 Hz for NTSC. So we're going to have a look at the good points for the GoPro Hero 9. The front screen is brilliant. It's well overdue. You can now frame your video from the front and you know what you're shooting. This is a great vlogging addition to the camera. Replaceable lenses. So if you scratch the lens on the camera, you can swap it out for a new one. A replacement lens isn't cheap, but it's better than disposing of the entire camera itself. The GoPro Hero 8 was great, but if you scratched the lens, you had to throw it away. So that's a really important addition to the GoPro Hero 9. There is a max lens mod. Now I keep talking about all these mods. They're all little bits you can clip on and attach. When you use the max lens mod, it gives you completely unbreakable video stabilization, up to 2.7K 60, ultra wide angle field of view, 16:9 aspect ratio measured diagonally, max super view mode 158 degrees with hypersmooth on 144 degrees, 123 degrees with hypersmooth and horizon leveling turned on. It costs about £90 for this mod, but it does reduce the waterproof capability of the camera by 5 meters when you attach it. Moving on to Hypersmooth 3.0, it's witchcraft. It really is. I mean, it's like 8 witches standing around a cauldron casting spells. It is absolutely brilliant. It really is. And with horizon leveling as well, you can almost turn the camera upside down, and it keeps perfectly smooth and level horizon. The stabilization in this camera is fantastic. Now the GoPro Hero 10 has Hypersmooth version 4. Add a couple of extra witches around the cauldron. I mean, it's amazing. So I mean, I wouldn't upgrade to the 10 for Hypersmooth 4 because Hypersmooth 3 is superb. But if you got the extra £100 to throw in, having a couple of extra witches might help. So the GoPro Hero 9, it's small, robust. It's bigger than the 8, but to have that front screen, it is most definitely worth it. It has a clever mounting system built into the base of the camera body, where you can just pull down the little feet and attach it to accessories, which is a really welcome addition. Now we're going to have a look at the bad points of the GoPro Hero 9. as soon as you open this, unbox it, get it out, unpack it, as soon as you do that, you have to update the firmware. It was buggy as hell. It was just terrible. And the GoPro Hero 9 had awful problems with reliability, where it would just freeze for no reason, and the only way to solve that issue was to remove the battery and put it back in. And that's why a lot of people went for the Hero 8 over the 9, because you just didn't have the reliability. Going out with your camera, and then you get back, and half the footage or all of your footage is not there, was just horrendous. And GoPro have struggled with this, and there's been an awful lot of firmware updates along the way, but I'm pleased to say that they've pretty much got it licked now. The latest firmware update has really helped with stability, and hopefully that is going to be a thing of the past. The touch screen was very unresponsive. I mean, it was terrible. The firmware updates that have been released have greatly improved the touchscreen. It is not as fluid and as responsive as the GoPro Hero 10, because that has a slightly faster processor in it, but it has massively improved in the firmware 1.6 and above. It's now usable, where previously it just wasn't. Big chunky bezels on the rear screen, that's a negative. Genuine accessories are very expensive for the GoPro, but you can buy much cheaper accessories on Amazon and eBay, etc. The small sensor is not great in low light. I mean, it just isn't. In good lighting conditions, fantastic quality. I mean, it really is great. If you're going to get into low light conditions, but that's not what it's for, it is going to be a bit grainy and it's going to struggle a little. So just consider your lighting if you're going to be using it in poor lighting conditions. Next up is recommended settings. On the GoPro, I would suggest that you create your own profile rather than using one of the standard profiles that's there. And these are the settings that I generally use and would recommend that are used. Resolution 5K 24, in the UK PAL, so 5K 24 is great for us. Hypersmooth set to boost, bitrate high, sharpness low, because they're always over sharpened, the images that are coming out, even the 10, you know, it is over sharpened, so set the sharpness to low. Color profile, I tend to use GoPro or flat, one of the two. And EV comp set to negative 0.5. And if you shoot with these settings, you really won't go wrong, and at least you can adjust in post. So the upgrade path for the GoPro, or for GoPro as a company, has really been a bit of an issue for them, I think. The 7 and the 8 are really good cameras. I mean, they are. And they all have their advantages the further up you go, apart from the unreliability that was introduced with the 9. But they are superb at what they do. So a lot of people just didn't need to upgrade. If you were a GoPro 8 owner, there really wasn't any reason to upgrade to the 9, and because of all of the stability issues, I would have stuck with the 8 over the 9 at the time, but now with all the improvements and the new introduced stability with the firmware upgrades, I think that is a thing of the past. Definitely buy extra batteries. They eat batteries. Battery life is not great, and it is equally as shocking on the 10. So definitely buy yourself a pair of additional batteries. Keep them charged, keep them in the bag, because you're going to need them. So GoPro Hero 9, roughly $350 in the UK, as I said. Media mod £80, max lens mod £90, extra batteries and charger £75. You're looking at, you know, late 500s, early £600 investment if you go for the Hero 9 with all of the extra bits. Suction cups £40, handlebar, seat post mounts £40, helmet mount £40. I mean, all of these mounts and stuff seem to cost £40 in the UK. Chest mounts, guess how much? No, it's £45 for one of those. But you know, there's lots of third-party kits out there that you can buy. They're not the genuine parts, but you know, they do a perfectly good job. If you're into water sports, yeah, I bet you are, then get a floaty. Now that might sound a bit strange, about £35 for a floaty grip, but it's basically a handle which floats, and you can attach it to the camera, and should it detach from your wrist, it will float on the top rather than sink to the bottom. So, you know, worth every penny. You're not going to lose 600 quid's worth of camera if you have a bright yellow floaty attached to the camera. So another tip for you with the GoPros: don't buy a large capacity single memory card. You can buy a 256 gigabyte memory card. I would suggest that you buy 4 64 gig memory cards. They aren't indestructible, they do break, and I'd rather lose a single 64 gig card than a massive 256 gig card. I recommend SanDisk Extreme Pro cards. 64 gig is about 20 quid. They're not overly expensive, or a Samsung Evo Plus 64 gig would be around £12, but I tend to go for the SanDisk Extreme cards or Extreme Pro cards. They've been very, very reliable, and I've had little to no issues with those at all. So moving on to the conclusion now. Would I recommend this camera? Well, would I have recommended this camera 6 months ago? Absolutely not. It was buggy as hell, and you lost your footage all the time. So there would have been no way on earth I would have recommended this 6 months ago. However, it has been fixed, mostly fixed. You know, you now have the confidence in using the camera that you're actually going to have some footage at the end that you can use. So would I recommend it now? Yes, I would. Would I buy the Hero 10 if I had the choice now between the 9 and the 10 and I hadn't already bought the 9 or a few 9s? Yeah, I'd spend the extra £100 and I would buy the Hero 10. It is a more capable camera. Battery life is worse, but it is a more capable camera, and there are some features in there that I would like. But it's not worth upgrading from the 9 to the 10. It's just not worth it. So would I recommend the Media Mod? It's okay. For £80, it adds a dimension to the camera. It enables some vlogging with the microphone and the cage, etc. It's not bad for £80 if you can get past the stabilities or slowdowns that it causes to the camera. But it's no Sony ZV-1 or you know, larger, more expensive camera outfit. You know, it's not going to replace something like a ZV-1. I have seen quite a few people criticising the GoPro Hero 9 and to some extent the 10 because of the size increase from the GoPro Hero 8. I quite frankly don't care. I mean, it is slightly bigger. It makes absolutely no difference to me. And the addition of the front screen so that you can actually frame your shots, the size difference, it really does not matter. So don't be put off by the reports that you see saying, oh, it's got a few millimeters bigger. Who cares? You've got a front screen now and you can actually see, looking at the front of the camera, what you're shooting. Well, I hope you found that helpful in your buying decision, going for the GoPro Hero 9 versus the 10 or the 10 versus the 9. I hope that information was useful to you and helped you in making your choice. So it would greatly help me out if you would subscribe to my channel. If the content that's on my channel is of interest to you, please subscribe. Thumbs up the video if you found this particular video useful, and always happy to have comments in the section below. If you've got nothing nice or constructive to say, please move on, not interested. But if you're a genuine person with genuine comments to make, I would love to hear from you. So that's it for today. We do have more videos coming up. There will be some more CB radio videos very soon, and then we have some unboxings of radios as well. So I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.